That beautiful piece of music there titled Let Me Be Free by Yvonne Chaka Chaka, music released in 1986, has brought the time to 7 minutes past 11 here in the studio of Apex One Radio in Johannesburg, South Africa. It's exactly 5:07 p.m. Johannesburg, from where we will be having this special live broadcast session here on Apex One Radio. And so if you are just joining us on apex1radio.com or on the tuning app, or better still, Radio Garden, or if you are joining us on Facebook, then thank you so much. Welcome to Apex One Radio. Welcome to this first segment of broadcast this Saturday, the 9th of October 2021. It's a bright Saturday here in the city of Columbus. Same thing in Johannesburg in South Africa. And like I said, Johannesburg, from where we'll be having this very special live broadcast. And so good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you find yourself across the globe. Welcome to Apex One Radio. It's sports, special sports here on Apex One Radio today. Special because there is a special event going on in Johannesburg as we speak. And so the 2021 edition of the Veterans J Football Tournament goes underway today in South Africa. It's true, last year the competition did not take place due to COVID-19, but in 2021, the boys, the men, the veterans are back again to make this event a successful one, to make this event happen. And so we will be joined by our man in Johannesburg, South Africa, Solomon Atah, who has already stationed at the Zoo Lake Sports Complex in Joburg, ready to give us play-by-play commentaries on the opening game, which will definitely be pitting Team Veron versus Team VJ Eagle as we hear. Well, without much ado, I guess we are going to start trying the lines from Johannesburg to find out if our man Solomon Atah is already there at the stadium and is ready to connect with us. Can we make a first try? Let me see what my producer tells me. Meantime, Maxwell Ajir is taking care of the production. He is in Germany. And like I said, our reporter on the field is Solomon Atah, who is at the Zoo Lake Sports Complex in Joburg. I guess Solomon is ready. So let's try to get to him. Solomon Atah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to this special broadcast, Solomon. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome, Solomon.
Thank you, Ernest. Welcome to the Zoo Lake Sports Ground here in Johannesburg, where we have a very exciting game loading on the banks to my left, if our viewers can see it. We're going to get right into it. Thank you to our viewers watching and listening to us across the world on apex1radio.com and across all our social media platforms. With me is actually one of the pioneer members of Veteran Football Club in Johannesburg, which is a very important, very popular, I should say, football club that is for people above the age of 35 that come every Saturday to this sports ground to exercise and have comradeship and have strengthened family and social ties. So with me, I have Pierre, who is a very pioneer member in 2016 when this club was founded, and he's going to give us some history, some context, why we planning this event, which tournament is this, and he's going to take us right deep into the story of Veteran Johannesburg. Pierre, welcome to Apex One Radio. When did this football club start?
We started on 8th October 2016.
Yeah.
Yes, 2016.
Okay, and in 2016, what happened? How did this important, this veteran football club? What did it do? What is its history?
The history of this veteran club during that time, 2016, we just imagine like in Johannesburg, we're not having like somewhere that we can have fun, somewhere that we can exercise. So we just decided, just some few members, as Mr. Solomon Atah is here also, was one of the pioneers who came through, and we just decided just to create a group.
Okay, this tournament today, what is the purpose of this tournament today?
This tournament, we call it a unity tournament. It's to bring people together, because it's been quite a long time that we do understand that the vibes that we're having, especially in Johannesburg, South Africa, and the whole, we're missing it. So we just decided just to create a tournament that called a tournament of unity. Just want to bring people together, bring everybody, from the children, the youth. You should come and see how the parents, all people are trying to practice and do their things. That's the reason that we try to create this tournament.
Hello,
Okay,
Solomon?
I see. Yes, go ahead.
Hello, Solomon.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, I have a question for your guest.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, so, sir, I would like you to take us back to the previous years this tournament has taken place. What was the experience? Did you have a successful previous editions of this tournament?
Yes, we do have them. The success of this tournament, what we realize is, we're lacking somewhere that we can come and, demonstrate something. Especially in South Africa here, especially in Johannesburg. So, what we're creating since 5 years today, I can, myself, I can imagine we are more than 100 and something members right now, who shows that now there is something that we are trying to do. Yes.
Solomon? Hello, Solomon?
Solomon.
Okay, Solomon will join us shortly, just to let our listeners and viewers know that we are live from
yes, go ahead, Ernest.
Columbus, Ohio. Yes, I just wanted to are you done with your guests yet?
Yeah, we are going to bring in the next guest, but I was just asking him to take us through the journey of preparing for this tournament, of planning this tournament, and what the spectators that are coming to watch us play can expect from this tournament, and what is the purpose of the tournament going forward for the club. So just walk the spectators through. What should they expect? How many teams are playing in this tournament, and how many goals do you think we're going to score, and all of that? Just tell us what the ambience, the vibe, what they should expect. I can see some of our guests having enough to drink and playing sport and drinking. That's quite an ambience.
What I'm trying to say won't be easy, because we have 4 teams that we have organized, and all the teams are ready. And what I'm trying to see here, the spectators that are coming to watch, I was not expecting this, so I'm so excited about that, which is a good things. So when we are talking about goals, when we are talking about veterans, people that have played football, we got a lot of goals, Solomon. We got a lot of goals that are coming, I cannot count.
Okay.
And being here with the radio today, you're gonna watch. Until today, we're gonna get about 6 goals.
Okay, I'll hold you to that. That was Pierre, one of the founding members of Veterans of Johannesburg. Behind me, that is the pitch on which the battle of the game will take place. Of course, the beautiful game which we understand always brings people together. On camera E, which is Peter, you can see some of our guests enjoying a bit of beverage, a mixture of quite a bit of alcohol, and having a great time. I will be bringing in another guest after the interlude of music, who can take us through perhaps another founding member who can tell us what we can expect here, so that our viewers and listeners can understand that in Johannesburg, since we are also on level 1 restrictions, we can get out of the house, get a little bit of energy into our lungs, have some bit of exercise, meet some other people that we've not been able to meet throughout the time that we've been in lockdown. with a lot of restrictions. And of course, we are here, of course, respecting a lot of the COVID restrictions that are in place, trying to have a bit of time out of the house. And it's a weekend, the sun is up, the South African weather is great, a good day outdoor. There are kids to my right, to my left, that are having a good time with the adults and the grown-ups here, and they're having a good game. So in a couple of minutes, I will bring in another person, perhaps our coach that has been coaching the entire veteran, even though we have now divided the team, the club into 4 teams that are going to be competing today. And I'll bring in the coach so the coach can give us his thoughts. Yeah.
Solomon? Solomon?
Yes, Ernest?
Yes, Solomon, I just want to find out if this this venue is the same which they've used for the tournament since inception.
Yes, that is correct. This is where we have been playing our games. We come here every Saturday to exercise, and this sports ground, we are going to use it throughout the tournament for the duration of that tournament, which I suspect is going to be maybe 2 or 3 weeks from now before we have the final.
Right. I'm talking about the tournament, Solomon. Are you confirming that we have 4 teams that are competing?
That is correct. I will give you the names of the teams in a second. But yes, there are 4 teams. Those that are opening the opening ceremony today is Team Veron and Team VJ Eagle. VJ standing for Veteran Johannesburg. Okay, I now have the coach. The coach is just 2 blocks away. The coach that is taking us, the entire Veteran Johannesburg, through our training sessions. Even when we play friendly games, he's a coach. He's a what we call the club coach. So, but today he's going to be playing a supervisory role, supervising all the 4 teams that that are going to be in the tournament. And I must remind our viewers and listeners that the 4 teams are teams from the entire club. So it's not teams from elsewhere. Okay. So, and also to send a signal out to our friendly game competitors that when we are coming, we have at our disposal 4 teams. So we are a very big club. I now have a coach, Coach TK10, which is our veteran coach. He is a leader in the club, and he's going to walk us through. So I'm going to be asking the coach some questions, and if you have a question for the coach, you're more than welcome.
Sure.
Ernest,
yes,
coach, what? Yeah, let me take one question, and then I'll give you the microphone to put some questions through. Coach, what can we expect? Can you just walk the listeners and the viewers through what this tournament is about? What can we expect today? What is the ambience going to be like? What is the vibe? How many goals are we looking at? Just walk us through the teams and so on.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today is one of those days that if you're not here, then there's something that you're missing, because most of the players that we have here are all ex-players. They've been in the game for a long time, and they're preparing for this tournament. So today is a G-Day. It's happening here today. I'm foreseeing a lot of goals.
So, Coach, can you confirm with us how many teams are in this club and how many teams are in this tournament?
The good thing about this whole thing is that we managed to have 4 teams. That is made of 17, 18 players in the team, and which is a good sign. I'm sure that there's something that we're doing right, because bringing guys that are 35 and above to make that margin is really easy. So yeah, we have 4 teams in the whole tournament.
And today you are playing a very important role. You are supervising the 2 teams that you are playing, and you are coaching the 2 teams that are playing, because you want Veteran to be the winner and not just the individual team. So from these teams that are playing today, Team Veron and Team VJ Eagles, which one can you put your money on, Coach?
I wouldn't say that because I'm neutral. All what I could tell about this is that at the end of the day, the best team should win. It's all about unity that we preach. The tournament is all about unity because we're trying to bring all the founding members. And this association has been running now for about 5 or 6 years. So it's all about unity. So at the end of the day, the unity will win.
Thank you so much, Coach. It was nice having you on the radio. I think you have a question from
I have a question for the
Hold on
coach,
a second.
Solomon. Can I go ahead?
Yes,
Hello, Solomon.
yes,
Can I go ahead?
yes.
Yes, coach. We who come from football playing parts of the world understand that after a certain age, your performance cannot be, on top any longer. Now you deal with players who, like you just mentioned, are pretty much above 35 years. How would you assess their performance? You've been watching them, over the years. How would you assess their performance? Are they still active? I know some of them played professional football in the past. Do they still have those football reflexes?
I really do not. Okay, I really do not get most of the questions that I pick up from one or two questions that you're asking. Yes, they are very active because most of the guys here, they've never missed a single day of training. They are all very active and they are very, very strong and fit. Believe you me, their fitness level is really, really something else. I'm telling you, it's on top.
You had a blank year due to COVID-19, which means that the players were kind of retired at home. Tell me, has that affected their performance in any way?
I wouldn't say it did affect their performance, or because they did have a program that they were doing at home, of which it was an obligation that they got to do it. So there was a program during the course of the pandemic. There was a course that they have to do. There's a program that they have to do. So when they came back, it was all good. It was easy for us to catch up.
Right. So, Coach, I'm going to leave you to go and take care of the players. I guess they are bracing to get on the green turf and start kicking the ball. So, yes. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you.
Solomon?
Yes, Ernest.
Yes, so Solomon.
Yes, Ernest.
What do we have now?
What we have now is some introduction. I'm going to get Peter's camera to show you. If you can go.
Okay, I guess producer Maxwell is trying to get on camera number 3.
Yes.
Okay.
Just give me a second. Let me get. Can I get some music?
Okay.
While I line up the introduction of the tournament,
no problem.
Then I'll line up the next guest.
Thank you so much, Solomon, for that opening phase of this live broadcast, which is reaching you live, simultaneously, conjunctionally from the Zoo Lake Sports Complex in Johannesburg, South Africa, and from the northern belt of the city of Columbus in Ohio in the United States of America. Maxwell Adil is producing this live session. My name is Ernest Kanjum. This is a special sports session on Apex One Radio. Thank you for joining us. We are going to do some music, and when we come back, it will be time to go back to the Zoo Lake Sports Complex in Joburg, South Africa, and continue with Solomon Atah. This is Apex.
Carl on the beat, so it's lit. A combo music.
Que you be my controller. Ma chérie, tu n'as plus de vie, c'est lui ton contrôleur. On m'a dit que tu as mis mon cerveau dans une bouteille. Moi, je leur ai dit que c'est le blablabla, femme les jaloux. Mais peut-être qu'ils ont raison que you be my controller. peut-être qu'ils ont raison que you be my controller. Baby, you got me under control. Because you know I've been at your own. The people we talk deep on at their feet, you be my controller. Baby, you got me under control. Because you know I've been at your own. N'a pas pété à bio, je m'en fous. You be my controller. Il y a ceux qui disent que c'est ton argent qui m'a contrôlé. Oh. Mais bébé, je m'en fous, Naya be my controller. On m'a dit que tu as mis mon cerveau dans une bouteille. Moi, je leur ai dit que c'est le blablabla, ferme les jaloux. Mais peut-être qu'ils ont raison que you be my controller. Mais peut-être qu'ils ont raison que you be my controller. Baby, you got me under control. Because you know I've been at your own. The people we talk deep on at their feet, you be my controller. You be my controller. Baby, you got me under control. Because you know I've been at your own. N'a pas pété à bio, je m'en fous. You be my controller.
Ernest, if you can go live, we are going to have the teams coming in now. Yeah, we have Ernest, can you hear me? Can you hear me? The teams, you can see them behind me. I'm going to put it on camera. I'm going to put them on.
Thank you so much, Renyu, that beautiful piece of music, the title Controller. We have signals that our man in Johannesburg, South Africa, Solomon Atah is back. Solomon is at the Zoo Lake Sports Complex, where the veterans are about now doing the opening game for the 2021 tournament. Solomon, can you hear me? Solomon, can you hear me? Solomon, you will have to unmute yourself so you can hear me. If you are,
I'm going to take a mobile camera in.
Right. Solomon, can you hear me? Solomon, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Just give me a moment.
Okay. Meantime, if you are welcome to Apex One Radio. We are conjunctionally broadcasting live from Johannesburg, South Africa, and Columbus, Ohio. My name is Ernest Kanjo. Solomon Atah is at the Zoo Lake.
Can you get camera? Can you get Peter on? Let me go for a mobile walkabout.
Okay, that's good, Solomon, and you can see from your screens that is the green turf. The officials rolling onto the green turf for the kickoff. I guess it will be done by one of the high-profile personalities down there, and you will have the singular opportunity to watch this game live with play-by-play commentary from our man Solomon Atah. This is Apex One Radio. We are live in Johannesburg at the Zoo Lake Sports Complex, where two teams of the Veterans of Johannesburg have converged to do the opening game of the 2021 edition of the Veterans J Tournament. It's the 9th of October 2021. What a day! What a day to celebrate sports and, of course, the African game. I call it the African game because Africans, do soccer more than anyone else. And so the two teams are already on the green turf, ready to start putting up the performance which we are expecting. We have Team Veterans J of Johannesburg. Then there is also Team Veron. Right, so these are the teams that are doing the opening game this year's Veterans J tournament in South Africa. Just to let you know that a couple of weeks ago, it was Veteran USA. Looks like Solomon is back. Yes, Solomon, I can hear you.
Can you stay on Peter for me, please? Can you stay on Peter while I go mobile?
Okay. You can go mobile while we stay on camera number 3, Solomon. Thank you so much once again. We are able to see those images there.
Yeah, can you stay on Peter for a bit? Yeah.
Okay. So we're trying to. Solomon, looks like you will have to bring back camera number 3. It's gone off our panel here, so you have to bring back camera number 3 so we will be able to see it. Okay. I guess we now have it. So we are going to zoom on that.
Okay. Can you get camera 3 now?
Producer Maxwell. Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay, we're there now, Solomon. And so, as you can see, these are the spectators who happen to be members of the Veteran Social Club of Johannesburg. The Veteran Social Club, just to let our listeners who are coming across this for the first time, a group of Africans, most especially Cameroonians, who played football in the past, retired from the game professionally, but who have decided to leave the moments of the game, and they are now doing it at this level. We can call it semi-professional level, but it comes like a whole package with other, social activities. They come together, they organize conferences, they organize talks, they party, they organize even charity events. But they bundle everything up with the game of football. Solomon, are you there? Can you hear me, Solomon? Solomon, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. So, Solomon, from the pictures, I realized we had some officials who got on the green turf to do the kickoff. Was that the case? And if that is so, are the players set to start kicking the ball?
Yes, we can see on Peter's camera that the players feel they're all lined up now, and what we have is the official kickoff by some of the officials, like some of the dignitaries. We see the game is underway right away. To my left, we can see that the game has just started, and this is Team Veron is playing from my right to my left, and Team VJ Eagles is playing from my left to the right. Team VJ Eagles is in yellow, a yellow over a black shorts and yellow football stockings, and Team Veron is in all green. Football jerseys, football shorts, and football stockings.
Solomon Atah.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, I just want to find out, since this is kind of a semi-professional tournament, are all the matches going to be played for the standard 90 minutes, or they're going to do something like 60 minutes?
That is a fantastic question. As you heard the coach say earlier on, the teams are quite fit, the players are quite fit, And generally, also because we have the sun is starting to go down here, we play according to our generally as a rule of thumb more than 30 minutes aside. So considering that these are veterans, they don't have to run all the 45 minutes, but I can assure you that, and our listeners and viewers, that on some occasions we do play a 45-minute apiece.
Okay, that's interesting. Another question will be another technical question will be the dimension of the pitch. Is it the standard dimension?
Affirmative, that is correct. The dimensions of the field is the standard 50 by 100. If there is some kind of standard that we use, correct.
Okay, that's interesting. Right. So, so what do we do, Solomon? Are you going to leave some of the active moments? So we hand over to you.
I stand by. What I want to do now is I want to bring the president, the current president of the club, to come and give some remarks. And I will also bring in some of those officials and dignitaries in between the commentary, so that we can have some comments and remarks from them. But before I do that, I'm going to get Peter's camera to put Peter's camera on the MC, who will give us some minute by minute, and we will integrate with some of the commentary from the interviews that I will conduct right here at the Joburg Sports Ground.
That sounds as a plan, Solomon. Meanwhile, Solomon does that. You are tuned to Apex One Radio. We are live from the United States of America in Columbus and from South Africa in Johannesburg, precisely at the Joburg Sports Complex in Joburg, where two teams of the Veterans G, that is Team Veteran, and Team Veterans Johannesburg Eagle, have just kick-started the first game of the 2021 edition of the Veterans Tournament in Johannesburg. It's happening this day, the 9th of October 2021. And as you can see from the pictures, the teams are already on the pitch kicking their ball. There is one of the teams dressed in green, all dressed in green, and we have the other team dressed in yellow jersey over black shorts and yellow football stockings. And so the match has started. I guess it's about 7 to 8 minutes gone into the first half of the encounter. It's still 0 on each side. Well, the match plays on. Thank you so much for joining us on Apex One Radio as we await Solomon Atah with more guests, so that we continue to speak about this very great initiative taken by the men down there in Joburg, that is in Johannesburg, South Africa. Welcome once again. If you are just joining us, this is Apex One Radio. My name is Ernest. Maxwell is producing this show from Germany, and our reporter on the field in Johannesburg is Solomon Atah. Watch the images, and we'll be right back with you. Solomon, I will be ready when you are ready. So play continues. It's the first.
So the president is going to come back to us in a second. He's just busy with some dignitaries. I can see him coming to me, but it just happens to be speaking to someone. So as soon as he gets here, we can have his remarks. After he is giving his remarks about this event that he is the organizer, so to speak, we will then go to the official who did the kickoff, and then we will cut to we have some dignitaries arriving here. His Royal Highness King Atah IV just making his entrance with his entourage. He's just arrived. He's walked past here. He's just arrived this sports ground to come and witness the event. You can see that as you the dignitaries that are arriving is an indication of the kinds of the quality of the organization of this event, and that gives us some kind of gives the viewer some kind of understanding that this is a very important event. You can see Peter's camera showing us Your Royal Highness in a white royal garment making his entrance, being walked in, received by the president, and of course, the gentleman in a white shirt in Peter's camera is the MC whom will be giving us his commentary in a bit. And of course, behind me, the game is heating up. It appears that there was a goal earlier. I will find out that information from the game officials, and for that, I will give that feedback to our viewers and listeners. At the moment, His Royal Highness the King, King Taka IV, has had his is now comfortably seated, and we have the MC making some introductory remarks, and we have the game, as you can see on Peter's camera, taking place, heating up, and I will get the score line just in a second. I think as the president sits settled down the entourage that arrived just a second ago, we will then have him come and speak to us about this tournament that you can tell from Peter's camera, the dignitaries, the game, the organization, and of course, all that has gone into to prepare for this day. I'm just going to make a hand wave so that the president can make his way to the studio so that we can get his remarks. I see the president coming to me in between serving people. You know, here at Veterans Johannesburg, we have what we call a servant leadership. That means the president is knee-deep into serving all the invitees, everyone that is here present, serving the club. He doesn't sit down and give orders or delegates people. Of course, he does that, but he is leading from the front, so to speak. So I'm just getting him. He's getting his ear to someone's, listening into someone's conversation, and he's going to make his way to me just in a second. But we can see from Peter's camera that the game is heating up, and it appears that the two teams are taking the game to each other in terms of gameplay, in terms of making the guests that are seated, of course, to my left, entertained and having a really what we can call a nice family day out in terms of a quality of gameplay, quality of entertainment. We have a DJ on the spot, giving some light music in the background, keeping the kids running around entertained and keeping the spectators entertained in a manner that is befitting to the spirit of Veterans Johannesburg.
Scoreline situation.
I see the president.
0 for Team Veron, 0 for VJ Eagles. First game, 2021 edition of the Veterans Tournament, Johannesburg, South Africa. Solomon.
Yes, thank you, Ernest. I'm just trying to, the president is getting really busy. I'm trying to get his attention to make his way to the studio. You see, I'm looking to my left, trying to draw his attention. I must say, Ernest, where the president is making his way, that our slogan at Veterans Johannesburg is beyond sports. What this means is that we don't just play football or soccer, we also do other sporting activities, and our club also includes women. So there are women that are members in good standing, I must add, that participate in our activities, and of course, this includes all sorts of activities. That is not just sports. And I have the president coming to the studio right here at the Zoo Lake Sports Ground. He's going to come and make some remarks in terms of the general organization of this tournament. But if you give me a second to get my earphones working, then Ernest, you'll be welcome to put some questions to the president directly. But I think I will start by just asking the president to share his feelings so far in terms of what we've experienced, who is here as our guest, and what we can expect from the tournament going forward. Mr. President, welcome to Apex One Radio, and we are here to cover this very important event that you've organized. What are your feelings right now?
First of all, I want to appreciate this particular Apex One Radio for covering an important event like this. And I believe that it is a way of exposing our association, not only among us, but to the general and the entire South Africa, and why not Cameroon and the world in particular.
Mr. President, what is the scoreline so far? I see you've been watching the game with intention and trying to spur the two teams on as the president of the entire club. What is the scoreline right now?
As of now, the scoreline remains the same, 0-0. Actually, an incident just happened that took my attention. One player was down, but fortunately, he succeeded in regaining himself. You know, this game is characterized by members of veterans of a certain age. If you are not more than 35 years, we won't accept you in our game. So, as a matter of fact, I believe that it's a game that we train people of a certain age to keep up themselves and to particularly fight against COVID, because exercise and to help their immune system to be more stronger. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. President, in terms of your guests, I see you've got some important guests here. Who do we have under the tent, and what are your feelings? What are they saying so far with regards to this game?
Actually, I did my best to make sure that I incorporate people of various traditional stands. So in the grandstand now, you find His Royal Highness Chief Atah the Fourth, and the president of the Oroko Cultural Association, South Africa, and a delegation of members of Cameroonian community who are representing also a particular veteran group in Germany's team. They came in a delegation, and also some members from the Cuba Union. Generally, there are so many other, but those particular, they are the most hierarchies that I know. They came in here particularly for this game. And we have one industrial son also by name Chofaya, who is here with us. Mr. Fonane Harrison is one of those Cameroonians who usually support our veteran games like this. It's not like something like fundraising. No. We are here just to keep ourselves united and to make sports, to see how we can take sport in a level of competition. That's it.
Mr. President, finally, before I give you the earphones to get a question from the studio, what can you expect from this tournament, and what can the people coming to watch our games expect?
There are two things that I would say, I can say at this moment. I want to promote particularly love and unity in this game. Love and unity. I came in an environment whereby the behaviors of our members before I took over, it was characterized by too much of disobedience, too much of disrespect of senior, too much no. But what we are going to get in this tournament is we are preaching unity, and for people to understand that you can never succeed if you don't humble yourself. So that is a major thing I want to gain here. Number one. Number two, our veteran, we lack so many. We lack many things as far as our fitness is concerned. I want to make sure that this veteran is well equipped
We are going to buy a new set of very good jersey, a new set of tracksuit. We are even planning to make sure that we organize a trip to Cape Town and then a trip out of South Africa, so that we can see how we can mobilize this veteran group so that it will be known not only here in South Africa, but not only in Johannesburg, but to other places here in South Africa. Thank you very much.
Ernest, you can ask the president a question directly from the studio.
Sure. Is he ready?
Yeah, I'm ready, Mr.
Okay. Now, Mr. President, welcome to Apex Wanadu once again. I have a couple of questions for you. First is where does your group get the resources which it uses to do all of what it does? You just mentioned that you're going to get a new set of jerseys, and you probably have to travel to another city for activities. This requires resources. Tell us how Veterans J, gathers its resources.
Actually, we don't have any major support from the economy here. What we do here is we do what we call we used to call it quick. Give what comes from it. We don't force it. When we initiate a project, we just want any veteran to see that this project is important and give what comes from it. That is how we use raising our funds. As of now, we have some support in our purpose that we have kept for quite some time that we have been existing. That money we use it helps us to pay our fees. Still, in short, it's still in that form of free will donation.
Right. Now, I also understand that there are scores of other Cameroonians out there who are not part of this group, who should definitely be. So, what is the level of adherence to Veterans J? Do people like it? Do people want to belong to it? And what is it that this group has which you think should attract people to belong to it?
Yeah, first of all, you see, Veteran J is a group of people come up. We don't accept amateurs. That's why I like to make that we accept people who are above 85 years of age. We bring them together and engage them in sports so that they can be more fit. When we started, most women were encouraged their husbands to join Veteran J. We saw a change in the husband's physical, not only appearance, but their physicality. So, this Veteran J, we are the people rejecting people not to join us. Particularly when we look at their age and their performance, we want people who respect. We accept people with respect. And if you are more off, this behavior will say no. So it's a club that we have a manner of shifting before we accept you.
Okay, so my last question is this. I don't know for how long you are going to be president, how much more of your mandate you still have, but what legacy do you expect to leave behind, when you hand over the command baton?
Actually, I've been president just for 2 months. I believe that from where I succeeded the government, I've done a lot. If you can look at the cameras, you will see. Just for a few months, I've decided that we should get a canopy for the ranch, double set canopy. Balls, we have about 4 or 5 new balls. We have decided to buy all the equipment for sport training. I've decided to buy all of them. And as of now, we are thinking of getting a very good set of jerseys. That's befitting for anywhere we can present the brand. But nonetheless, that's not. I'm trying my best. For these 3 months, we have increased the population of Veterans from 35 members to now 65 members who are more committed to us. And we are trying to see that Veterans is a success. We don't buy equipment for members. Before I leave this topic, because hand over the baton to another person. One veteran will be 50. First of all, I've worked on the characters of members, which is very important. If you visit veteran jail, previous programs, members will be changed. For me, only that aspect, I believe it's a great legacy that I will leave. Whoever is coming to the United States.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. President. Thank you so much for speaking to us. It's a pleasure. Solomon?
Solomon.
So if you just joined us, this is Apex One Radio. We're broadcasting live from Johannesburg and from Columbus, Ohio. The Veterans Day here on radio. And so two teams are on the pitch kicking the ball. It's like 25 minutes gone into the first half of this encounter. 0 for Team Veron, 0 for VJ Eagles. And so the match continues. Maxwell Ajit is controlling us from Switzerland. Solomon Atah is at the Zoo Lake Sports Complex in Joburg, and Eskanja is in the Apex One Radio studio in Columbus, Ohio. Solomon, over to you.
Thank you so much, Ernest, and welcome back here, where we have what I can call a very heated game going on. Veron versus Team VJ Eagles. Both teams, I have to emphasize for our viewers and listeners, they belong to the same club. And it's just Veterans Johannesburg and inter-club tournament, whereby they play against each other in order to keep fit in a more competitive way. So it appears that they seem to have been a goal that was perhaps disallowed or maybe allowed, but I will get that information confirmed in a moment. For our viewers, the field cam at Zoo Lake Johannesburg is showing us what appears to be a goal. I just have to confirm that with what's happening. It is a goal indeed against. So the scoreline here now has changed. It's now Team Veron 1 and Team VJ 2. Just behind me, there's just been a goal that is just coming as I was trying to give you the earlier scoreline. So for our listeners, it's VJ Eagles 2 and Team Veron 1. Over to you, Ernest.
Thank you so much, Solomon Atah. If you are just joining us, this is Apex One Radio. We are broadcasting live from the United States of America, and it's the veteran tournament in Johannesburg, South Africa, which has kicked off today. We are told that it's going to run for a couple more weeks with 4 teams, 2 of which are already participating in the opening game of this tournament. We just spoke there with the president of Veterans J, which is Veterans Johannesburg, and he sounded very optimistic. Apparently, he is a leader who came on board to change so many things, and we can notice the adherence and the level of interest, in this whole movement. Just to let you know that the Veteran Social Club is a movement that is found across the world. If you go to the United States of America, in virtually all states, you will find veteran clubs. If you go to Australia, same thing. In other parts of the continent, virtually every city or every state or every region, whatever you call it, have veteran clubs. And like Solomon mentioned a while ago, it goes beyond the game of football. It also has to do with other things, social activities, people coming together to maybe do projects. Of course, yes, I have come across veterans clubs that have executed social projects back on the continent, and that is how it is. The spirit of this movement is that which it's very admirable. So today we are live on radio to cover the opening game of this year's tournament, and we have our man in Johannesburg, Solomon Atah, who is helping us to explain what is going on at the Zoo Lake Sports Complex there in Johannesburg. I don't know if Solomon wants to get back. Solomon? Okay.
Ernest, I was just trying to get the MC of the event to come and give us some kind of a feel of who is here.
Okay.
That will give us some kind of an understanding of who is in the stands and who is enjoying the game with us. And I can say from what I see that if you're in Johannesburg and you're watching and listening to us, this is a place to be. There's kids playing around just behind the grandstand in front of me. Keep in mind that my back is to
Solomon, that reminds me. I just wanted to find out if usually you would have family members, children, wives, relatives who would come around to watch these matches. Has that been the practice in the past?
That is correct. Often when we come for our usual Saturday training stations where we come and run around here with the ball, knock the ball around. Some people come with their family members to watch them play. But of course, it's slightly different when we have a tournament, because the tournament is also, we describe the tournament as a family day. And as a family day, it gives us an opportunity for families to come, and of course keeping in mind that membership is open only to people above the age of 35. A bigger portion, most of whom are married, and of course they come with their families, come with their children. Some of the kids themselves, they even dress up in a sporting attire. They run around with the ball, they knock the ball around themselves, and they come with wives and friends and so on. So in fact, in a tournament like this one, and we are very well known in the community for being such that we always invite others to come and just make it a family day. Further down, I will try and get the camera. I'm sure you can see it with the camera, with camera E, with the field cam. You can see the smoke bellowing into the sky. We're having what you call in the United States a barbecue. South Africa is a bar. So there's some meat on the fire at the bottom, there's beverages. There's a whole lot of getting out of the house, coming to the field and just having a good time. But now I'm going to turn to my right, which I have the MC of the event, Kevin Ayaba, who is very well known Cameroonian, a socialite in his own right. He's come here to coordinate the event as an MC, and I'm going to just ask him to share his thoughts with us in terms of what he's thought about this day so far. So, Kevin, thank you. Welcome to Apex One Radio. You can have the microphone. What we have is a veteran day, so to speak. You are the MC. What are your feelings so far?
Thank you very much, Solomon, for having me on the station. Thank you, Apex One radio station, for covering this event. Veteran Day has been in existence for some time now, and due to the COVID, and I'm sure that our president and others must have mentioned, we've been down for the last almost 2 years, and we are so excited to be here today. My name is Kevin Ayaba. I am the CEO of Startup. I'm also the founder and the chairman of Cameroon, South Africa. Today is an exciting day for us. We thank God that most of us are alive. A lot has happened within our community with lots of few friends and family. But to have seen this crowd, today, just remind us of God, remind us of the time we have in the world. Remind us that no one is above God, God's will. So we are really excited. I mean, with 4 teams, I'm sure Solomon must have highlighted that we have guests from all over the place, all over the provinces, from Gauteng province to Western Cape. We have, our King Taka here. Today is a big day for him. He has a wedding in his house, but he has to make it to be here because he's one of the founding members of this group. We have our patron, Mr. Fernando Harrison. We call him here alias Fire, who is a great supporter of Cameroon events of Cameroonians and the rest in Johannesburg and South Africa. As a whole, we have our famous artist here, Giba Boy. Giba Boy is a Cameroonian artist. He will be performing here very soon. And then I have my bosom friend, a very good friend of mine, who also has been the supporter of events like this. King, we call him King Passion. He's a guy of style. You will see him coming here soon to talk to you guys. He loves style, he loves passion, he loves entertainment, he loves supporting events like this. We have Titi Pierre, he's one of the founding Cameroonians who are here who support so many Cameroonians who own the club and provided so many support to young Cameroonians that's here. So and then we have Mr. Also all the way from Pretoria. So it's been it's really been an amazing day. It's a good day. The weather has been great. We are in summer in South Africa, as most of you know all the way. In the US, it's been a sunny day. Like Solomon mentioned earlier, there's a bride going on. There's also soccer going on. Studies, after Saturday, as Cameroonian, we're going to gather again. To have to share one or two drinks and entertain ourselves. Listen, we are old, man. We are getting older. We have children. Sometimes we live. We have fun. God give us another chance to deal with the pandemic and the rest. So we need to use that to catch moment with our fellow brothers and sisters. But FS1 Radio, you guys have been an amazing to come all the way in Johannesburg in South Africa to cover events like this, and I'm glad that we have my able colleague, my able friend, my bosom brother, Solomon, who is taking this amazing initiative within in our plane down and in other places. So thank you so much for covering us. We will continue to share the knowledge of your presence. We'll continue to bring you further events. I, for one, will bring Miss Cameroon back, South Africa back next year. There's just so much that Cameroonians within our community are doing, and I'm an entrepreneur. We've also, I'd like to use the opportunity to announce that we've also launched a school of entrepreneurship, a startup school, and online and both face-to-face, as well, called iAfrica.com. So you can check it out to see what we're doing, how we can help entrepreneurs start, grow, and scale their business. I'm a speaker, I'm a judge. So there's just so much that I do within the Cameroon community and Africa as large. So Solomon, thank you for having me, and thank you for covering this. Thanks again, FS1 Radio, for covering this big day. We all appreciate. Shout out to the rest of the viewers. Shout out to those who are listening to us. And to continue to support FS1 Radio in everywhere you can, so we can continue to have great events like this one. Thank you.
Thank you. That was the MC for the event, Kevin Ayaba. He is a very eloquent gentleman, and of course, you heard him sending his regards to all our viewers and all our listeners across all our social media platforms. And back here, the game is heating up. Ernest, the game is heating up here, and of course, team veteran VJ Eagles, veteran Johannesburg Eagles, is leading the game here by 2-1. You can see the pitch behind me. It looks fantastic. The guys are having a field day. Their families here. It's kids, the smoke is actually billowing into the sky, even much better than it was earlier on. And of course, I'm going to bring in one of the patrons of today, a very well-known Cameroonian who is always omnipresent, so to speak, amongst Cameroonians whenever they gather for whatever reason, especially, I have to say, especially when veteran Johannesburg gathers to have a field day, to have a game of football, comradeship, camaraderie, and people just having a very good time lots of beverage, I have to say, happening here. People are just having what can be described as a wonderful family day. People looking very elegant. I see some swiping camera now, looking absolutely beautiful, just having a good time. And we're grateful that we COVID restrictions level 1, lockdown restriction level 1 in South Africa, that we can actually come out for a day of football, so to speak, and have some friendly engagement, see people we haven't seen in a while, and you can see the field camera showing us some of our dignitaries in terms of who is who in this community, just having a field time with us. I'm going to bring in that.
Hello, Solomon.
Yes, I'm just going to bring in one of the patrons to come and give us a word or two in terms of what he's experiencing here today.
Hello, Solomon.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, before your guest shows up, I have a question. Earlier on, I spotted something like trophies on the table, and I'm beginning to wonder if today is a day for trophies, given that this is just the start of the tournament. Did I see well? Were those trophies?
Yes, that is correct. The trophies are basically so that all the teams that are contesting should see, and of course our guests should also see that these are the trophies, and of course a patron like Mr. Fonane that now seated to my right, to whom we're going to speak just now, can see that all the support that they've given to the team, this is actually what they've been able to use that support for. And of course, our guests and the teams and everyone, on all the invitees, even us as club members, we can see that this is the trophy that we are all playing, yearning, and trying and competing to win, which is just a Veteran Johannesburg unity trophy. Ernest?
Yes, Solomon, just before you start speaking with your guests, it looks like it's halftime. I can spot somebody talking in front of the crowd. So what is going on?
What we have here is I think there's an artist that was introduced earlier on, that is now going to perform or making some remarks. I still have to follow that up from my earphones. Okay. But at the moment, we are on halftime. That is correct. The two teams are having a few minutes of recess, and I think my guess is correct. The gentleman whom you see on field cover at Zulek is an artist who's going to provide some side entertainment. Like I was commenting earlier on, here we have all sorts of entertainment going on. There's an artist performing, there's a smoke at the back bellowing into the sky, the meat is coming up the fry, as we say. But let me turn now to the patron, Mr. Fonane, whom himself is a gentleman who took the kick-off. He's our patron. He's a very well-known patron inside the Cameroonian community, whom we can put some questions. So, Mr. Fonane, welcome. This is Apex One Radio. How do you feel being here?
I feel so excited, overwhelmed by what is going on. I never expected this. So when I got here, I realized that there's something else happening. Veteran Johannesburg is an organization that existed for quite a number of years, but I never knew that after lockdown, it's going to reform itself in this big style. So when I was informed that Veteran would be reforming itself by the new president, I became so excited. I said, Veteran is an organization that we used to belong to. At a certain point, there was some sort of setback. And due to those setbacks, quite a number of people, particularly the senior people in Veterans, decided to probably withdraw their participation in veteran activities. But with the new executive, it's like things are building up, and when everyone is engaged, we become very happy. But that's it. But I enjoy the environment.
Okay, thank you, Patron. In terms of this kind of comrade feeling, this kind of coming together as a community, what do you expect from this tournament as a patron?
Quite a lot is expected before the end of the tournament. It will help to bring the Cameroonian community once again together, because it is said that there's a saying that unity is strength, and before the tournament ends, there will be some strength get out of the tournament. This tournament acts as a social cohesion, particularly among Cameroonians and other friendly communities. But we should all know that those who make up the majority of who participate in the tournament are Cameroonian. It is uniquely a Cameroonian type of event. And some of the people from a different background may find it very difficult to integrate themselves. They are hard of a wake up. We should know that as Cameroonians, this is the only way we can meet and be able to assist each other in terms of ideas, in terms of entertainment, in terms of social cohesion, and in terms of many other things that can bring us as people from one community. It helps to identify, make us unique, and can make us identify as a person of a particular culture. So in this particular regard, tournament of non-food are encouraged, so that when you come together, it is a forum. When we come together, we create a forum where we can assist each other, and morally, financially, and in many other ways. We need to feel belonging, and it releases stress and isolation from our community. And when people come together, they remember a lot of things that have been hidden in the house are uncovered. And when things are covered this way, people will probably feel stressed and be able to feel much happier, healthier, and progressive.
Thank you, Mr. Patron. If you have a question for him, I can give him the earphones. Otherwise, I want to release him because the games is just started.
I have one last question for him.
Okay, just hold on.
Okay. So, can you hear me now?
Did you put your question? I didn't hear it.
Okay, so can you get me now? Hello?
Okay, the patron has just left.
Apparently he has left. Okay, no problem.
Yes, but he might come back. I might still bring him back.
No problem.
In terms of if you have a question for him, let him warm his seat a little bit. So the game has resumed, and the lights have come on here at Zoo Lake. I will just tilt my camera so that you can see it. The lights have come on, and you can see the lights there on camera and the field camera. So I can tell you that the artist is still performing, as you see on the field camera, and the people are the guests here, the spectators, they're having what I can describe as a wonderful day. And the smoke is still bellowing, the meat is coming off the fry, everyone is having a good time. And of course, as we watch the game, our intention is that these spectators, the next time we have the next game, there will be more and more spectators coming through to watch our games, and of course to join the club, of course, and also to just have a good time while associating with Veterans of Johannesburg. Ernest?
Solomon Atah from the Zoo Lake Sports Complex in Johannesburg, where two teams of the Veterans J are currently on the pitch, battling for the first win of this year's tournament. Team Veteran versus Team VJ Eagle, and it's happening this day, Saturday, the 9th of October, 2021. If you are just joining us, welcome to Apex One Radio. Welcome to this first segment of broadcast this weekend. And of course, it's sports here on radio. The match is still going on. We have Solomon Atah in Johannesburg at Lake Zoo Sports Complex. Maxel Adil is producing us from Germany, precisely from the HO city of Varsuch. My name is Ernest Kanjo. I am coordinating live from the studio here situated at the northern part of Columbus in Ohio. So, Solomon, do you want us to just leave the images run for a few minutes?
Yes, we can leave the images because the artist is performing, and I can ask camera E to go back to the artist so that we can just see the last bits of Ecam giving us some. You see, the people here are very generous. The artist having a swell time, and of course, what we find here is just a general atmosphere of jamboree and enjoyment, and of course, guests watching the artists perform and watching the game all at once. That just tells you the mix that Veteran Johannesburg, as we said in our slogan, beyond sports, which means we have music, we have a bride, we have some games going on, we have entertainment, we have beverages. So it's a very uniquely, as you heard the patron described, a very uniquely uh, atmosphere, very peculiar and very well enjoyed here. So I'm going to leave you now with some images while I try and grab another guest who can come and give us their commentary.
Thank you so much, Solomon. Thank you.
Ernest, did someone take the microphone? Okay, off. Ernest? Ernest?
This is Apex One Radio broadcasting from the United States of America. Solomon Atah.
Yes, Ernest, thank you. Welcome back to Zulek Sports Ground, where we're broadcasting live on the game hosted by Veterans Johannesburg, and of course, two teams from the same club, Team Veron and Team VJ Eagles, locking horns behind me. You can see that on the field cam, Zulek Johannesburg. And of course, the lights have come on here. In fact, the game is speeding up. And of course, it's going to be wrapping up here. But like I said earlier on, that Veteran is not just about men and boys, of course, but there are also women in the club. So I have with me one of our members that is also a woman, a mother, a wife. She's going to share some experiences of being in the club with us. and our viewers, so that our viewers can see that it's not just a boys' club, and in fact that everyone else is involved. So, ma'am, I'm just going to ask you to introduce yourself so that I can give you the microphone.
Okay, my name is Maxine Groom. I'm the wife of Tobias Neva. I'm a member of Veteran, one behind the powerhouse. I'm in charge of the kitchen section, whatever concerns the stomach, I'm in charge.
Okay, so what has been your experience planning and preparing for this tournament, this Veteran Johannesburg Unity Tournament? What has been your experience? How was it to put all this together in terms of the social department?
Like I said, for the past years, I've been a veteran, as I said. I've been a veteran since for about 3 years now. From the founder to now, I'm a member of the veteranship. So what I can say is good being a veteran, for the said. Wherever there are men, there are supposed to be women in them. And wherever there are women, they have a strong man. Before you have a strong man, there's a strong woman behind them. So as a team, we the women are behind our men. So that's what makes the veteran stronger. So there are a lot of us, but some are not here due to one reason or the other. So I am here because I was free today. So since I was in charge of the powerhouse, I prepared the things for the bride. When I bought the stuff in the morning, I was supposed to make the soup, but due to one reason or the other, but I know the end of it will be more powerful than the opening of this day. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Do you have a question from the studio for our female veteran member that's here, Ernest?
Yes, I do have a question for her. Ma'am, tell me, whenever the veterans of Johannesburg have to travel to Pretoria or to Cape Town or to Bloemfontein, have you had to travel with them as well?
Yes, of course, I'm a member, and like I said, I'm the one behind the powerhouse, and wherever when we the women take care of the stomach, so we can't allow our men to go like that because we have to be there. We have to take care of their stomach because that is my area. So I need to follow them wherever they go as a member, as a woman behind the powerhouse. I'm always there wherever they need me. So that's my job. Member.
Do you have other female counterparts who are other women who are this committed as you are?
Yes, they are. Like I said, some of them are nurses. Maybe they are on their day duty. They will be knocking off by 7. Maybe they will join us here later. Some of them are one reason or the other. That's why they couldn't be here because we're supposed to have this opening last week. But due to the weather in South Africa, we couldn't have it. So some of them took permission for that last week to be here, but unfortunately you can't take permission today and the next week. So that is why I'm a business, I'm a self-employed. So I can decide to drop my business because I love veterans very much. And I decided to drop my business and to come and support my men and as a member. So they are working, as they are working under somebody, they can't do that. But for me, I can do it because I'm a self-employed. So that's why I'm here alone. Some of them join us maybe by next window, take another off day.
Thank you so much for speaking to Apex1 Radio. Thanks for your support to the men and congrats on the great job you are doing.
Thank you very much. Love you.
Solomon?
Okay.
Yes,
Ernest, if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
All right. So the game is going to, I think, end very soon as things are looking. I will check with the officials. What I want to do is I want to bring someone that is the Secretary General of Veteran, who is like the scribe, who is the scribe, not like, who is the scribe. Raphael.com is a very well-known community member here, Cameroonian community member, and of course he is our scribe, our Secretary General, and takes charge of all our administration and all the administrative deal making that needs to take place to bring people together. I'm just going to put some questions to him, but first I'll ask him to introduce himself so that I can put some questions to him. Ralph, you are the newly elected Secretary General of Veteran. What are your feelings today? The tournament has started, the Unity tournament is on, and everything is going very well. What are your thoughts?
Thank you very much, Mr. Atah, for inviting me to your show. It's a very great show. First, I want to appreciate you for this initiative that you bring in Veteran J. It's first of its kind for us to have such gesture here in this tournament. Being elected as the Secretary General in VJ, it was a very great feeling to be part of this executive, and our goal as an executive as a whole was to make sure that we take Veteran to a greater height. So we just thought, like, being elected as executive and just be normal as executive, we want to sugar up the show, making sure that before we being inaugurated, let's do something that will bring people together. So the highlight of this tournament is to bring all the VJs together. The ones that they've left Veteran J for a very long time for their own personal reasons. Some of them, we tried to contact them. They said they were they take them off from the group chat without any consultation. So there was different complaints. So we decided that making a tournament like this, it will be very important to bring us together as Veteran J, so that we can come together and take this very, very marvelous group to greater heights. So I'm very, very privileged to be part of this executive for the year.
Ernest, do you have a question from the studio for the Secretary General?
My question will just be to find out what he does on a day-to-day basis as Secretary General. So tell us, as SG of this group, what do you typically do? Did he get a question?
No, you were breaking up, sir.
Okay, I just wanted to find out from you, as Secretary General of this group, what do you typically do?
Okay, my responsibility as a Secretary General in the group is to make sure that all minutes concerning Veteran J is being tapped. I make sure that I inform our General Assembly for anything that concerns the minutes for Veteran J. So as Secretary General, that's my responsibility.
Okay, thank you so much for speaking to us, sir.
Thank you so much. I'm very, very privileged to be part of your team, and we just hope that this continue to live forever.
Thank you.
We're very, very privileged to be part of you today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Ernest.
Yes.
Thank you. So basically, what we have is the game seems to be wrapping up to some extent, because it appears that the lights at the field are not enough, and for that reason, the game might, for some reasons or the other, might not continue to its definite end.
Okay,
but
Solomon?
I will keep our viewers and yes.
Solomon?
Yes, go ahead, Ernest.
Yes. Is it possible that we have 2 to 3 players speak to us so they share their experiences?
Yes, that was the final whistle. I'm going to get the players to come to us, to come and give us some remarks.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, I'll try and see if I can get the 2 captains to come and give us some remarks. So just give me some music. Let me get the 2 captains to come to us. Ernest?
All right. Thank you so much, Solomon. This is Apex One Radio. Solomon is about to get the captains of Team Veteran and Team VJ Eagle. Both teams have just rounded up the first game in this year's tournament. And as a reminder, it's the Veterans of Johannesburg in South Africa, who are doing the opening game of their tournament. We are told the tournament was suspended last year due to COVID. Apparently, it didn't take place the year before. I just learned about that as well. So I guess this is a spectacular comeback. And is coming back to with the very first coverage of Apex One Radio of this event, and we're glad that we've been able to have it live on the airwaves. Thanks to our man in Johannesburg, Solomon Atah, who is live from the Zoo Lake Sports Complex in Johannesburg. So we're going to do some music. Maybe producer Maxwell can maybe we just let the field camera run, then we will be back to run off. Apparently Solomon is here.
Yeah.
Solomon, are you here?
Yes, I am. I have the winning captain with me, Ernest, Mr. Philemon Tamu, who is the captain of Veteran Eagles, VJ Eagles. I beg your pardon, and he is going to give us his feelings. Philemon, what are your feelings? Well done, congratulations for winning your first game. What are your feelings after opening the game, opening the tournament, and you come out victorious?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It was a very interesting encounter. Our opponents were very good. We were so tactical. We had a very good team spirit. We played coordinated football. And then at the end of the day, we are very happy to come out victorious. It doesn't mean that the opponents were weak. It's just that we were so strategic and we were so focused, and we came more prepared for this game today.
Mr. Captain, now that you win your first game, what are your thoughts for the second game that is coming up?
Okay, thank you very much. We want to take one game at a time. As it stands, we don't even know our next opponent, but we are very much ready to meet anybody that comes our way, because we want to go all the way to lift this trophy.
Thank you, Mr. Captain. I will let you go and grab your breath while I speak to the losing captain.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ernest, I have the captain of the opposite side.
Okay.
In fact, he is one of our pioneer members. He was with us at the beginning of the broadcast. Mr. Pierre, what are your feelings? First game, it didn't go the way you planned.
The truth is, it's the first game. Our team we have not yet been in coalition. That we should understand ourselves, and that was the problem.
Okay, now that the first game didn't go according to your plan, what is your plan for the next game?
I believe that on the second game, the team that face us gonna have a problem, because we are coming to revenge on the second game.
As the captain of this side, Team Veron FC, what do you think were the problem areas where you couldn't finalize, you couldn't capitalize on? What was the weak areas that you need to go and work on?
I believe on the goalkeeper side. On the goalkeeper side, it was not well performed. That was a problem that we occurred. So I believe that on the second game, we will try to rectify all those things.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pierre. I wish you good luck for the second game.
Thanks.
All right, Ernest, I think as things stand, Team VJ Eagles is the winning team here on this very important Veteran Johannesburg Unity Tournament, which is a tournament that is played only within Veteran Johannesburg itself. And of course, you heard from the president, we have 4 teams, and the victorious team is having a field day. They are still celebrating and feeling the victory coming through them, and just sharing it with a lot of jubilation. But as you can see, we are almost wrapping up the broadcast here. The broadcast is done because the game is ended, and some of the dignitaries are starting to leave. They are congratulating the winning team, and I think it's time that we call it a day, a wrap here from the Zoo Lake Sports Ground, and our viewers and listeners can take they can take a rendezvous with us for next week, when we will gather here again to continue the tournament. And I have to indicate that there are other tournaments happening in Johannesburg that we can also, that I think Apex One Radio will be keen to bring to our listeners and viewers across the globe and across all our social media platforms. Ernest?
Solomon, just before you go away, I would like to have a last word from you, and that last word will be for you to evaluate this opening day. How was it compared to opening days of previous editions? So, how would you evaluate the general organization of day one of this tournament? Successful? Solomon, you have to unmute yourself.
Oh, Ernest. Oh, thank you. So I can tell you that this tournament, as you can see, as you heard from the president, it's the opening day, and of course we had two teams that played a beautiful game. We apologize to our viewers that the darkness caught us a little bit, and the lights we have on the field were not sufficient so that the game could have been well lit. But of course, considering the number of people that turned out to watch this game, considering how the game, there was enough fair play in the game, no one has left the field of play injured. Everyone is, and in fact, the captain of the losing side is a happy, not so happy loser, but of course, he wasn't a bitter loser, so to speak. And the winning team was also gracious in victory. And of course, it's just the spirit of Veterans of Johannesburg that has prevailed. And the people that are clapping now, as you can hear in the background, they are all veteran members. They are not just those that have won, but of course, the spirit of veteran is that we come out, we enjoy ourselves. So to wrap up from here, it was a good day. Everyone had a bit of fun. There was beverages, there was a braai, there was a good game of football, there were kids, there were families here. So it was, in fact, a very well put together event, a very well organized event, and we look forward to improving on the areas that we did not meet up with our own expectation as a club, to welcoming our guests even much better, and of course to providing better live coverage, minute by minute coverage here in terms of what the tournament has in place for us. So of course it was a well put together event, and we want to congratulate the president and his team and all the other people that worked so hard to bring people together in order that one of the patrons said, Mr. Fonani, that it's for social cohesion and for friendship and for strengthening ties beyond sports, of course. That it was, of course, in my own assessment, a very well put together event, a very well put together tournament. We are starting to see it come across very well. Ernest?
A very well put together day, well put together event, a demonstration of social cohesion, friendship ties. That is what we had from Johannesburg today. Solomon, we want to thank you so much, and we are looking forward to the next event. We will be here. Our microphones will be quite open to capture the sounds, and our cameras will be open to capture the images. Solomon, that was a fantastic job you did. Thank you so much, and to the entire team out there at the Zoo Lake Sports Complex in Johannesburg. Solomon, I know it's been a long day for you. Just retire, have a fantastic rest of the day, and we'll have you back here during the next event. Thank you so much, Solomon.
Thank you, Ernest. Thank you for the team.
I'm back in the studio. It's also been a fantastic job here with Maxell controlling us from Walsuch in Germany. It's been a beautiful sports day here on radio. Remember, the event was the opening day of the 2021 edition of the Veterans Johannesburg soccer tournament. And today we had two teams. Team Veron that lost to Team VJ Eagles by 0-1, and of course that is how it ended today. Beautiful game, demonstration of fair play. We saw how the spectators were all applauding the players. Even the losing side was happy for the victorious side. That is the veteran spirit, social cohesion at its best. To you out there, thank you so much for being with us. Thanks for always choosing Apex One Radio. We will be back for this same event when it does comes up. Trust us on that. But for now, we are retiring to see you again tomorrow during the Apex One News Magazine at exactly 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Maxwell Adit, Solomon Atah, Okon Ekweyon, Gracie Boise, and the rest of the Apex One Radio team join me, Ernest Kanjum, to say thank you for always being with us. Do have a fantastic rest of the day, and bye for now.